Hello, hello everyone! Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. This is Mentor Ana once again and we are live. So it's Feb 24, it's almost 10 o'clock in the evening. Kamusta? Kamusta po ang inyong Tuesday? I hope that you all had a wonderful Tuesday, a productive Tuesday. And maybe some of you are already at home, nagpapahinga, and you are here. Maraming salamat for being here with me tonight. And, medyo na-late tayo ng live because I had to take some rest. And recently, I don't know if you've also experienced that, o medyo mainit ang weather. Summer is really here in the Philippines. And, medyo challenging siya, especially pag masyadong mainit na during the afternoons. But I'm still grateful kasi I still have a roof on top of my head and I'm working on my business here at the comfort of my home. And of course, I also am excited to talk to you regarding a very important topic, right? Before we jump right in, for those who are just new on my business page, on my social media accounts, ako po si Ana Montesa. I'm a former accounting and finance professional. Dating hospital CFO, nagtrabaho sa corporate world for 15 years, turned digital business mentor and owner for 5 years. So since I started this business back in 2021, 2 years after, ako po ay nakapagretiro sa aking trabaho. And now I've been, doing this business full time for over 3 years. That's why I'm very passionate about helping mga kapwa kong accountants, finance professionals, and fellow corporate professionals who also wants to create their life beyond their 9 to 5. So if this is your first time to see me or if you've been following my Go Lives, thank you so much for being here. And let's get started. So every Tuesday, we are talking about something that is related to our mindset, right? So today is Mindset Tuesdays. And for tonight, I just wanted to talk about something that really frustrates a lot of let's say high achieving professionals, and for those who are already in the business, no, yung mga digital business owners na nag-start na rin ng negosyo na ito. Because this may be you're already putting in your effort, you are actually learning, you are actually trying to learn more about the business, but it feels like, nothing is happening fast enough. And when you don't see the results that you are expecting, no, immediately, that's actually when you start doubting yourself, right? And I'm wanted to talk about this because this is also one of the things that I've also struggled with, during the first few years, when I started the business. I've mentioned this, that this is a new territory for me, even though I have, experience in the corporate world. This is a new territory for me. So I also took the time to really, you know, work on this, right? So, but here is the truth, no, that consistency compounds even when it feels invisible, right? So bakit nga ba sometimes we feel like growth feels like invisible, right? So for those who have worked in the corporate world and now you started your own business, you become your own boss, you work for yourself, you run your own digital business. We are used to seeing visible wins at work, right? Andyan yung promotions rather, andyan yung bonuses natin, andyan yung mga titles natin at work. But you know what? The real growth is usually quiet. Hindi ito yung mga nakikita natin. Maybe what you're seeing with other people when they get success, right? At work or maybe in their business is nakikita natin yung visible part. But before they reach that far, before they achieve success in their career or in their job, diba ikaw rin, you have been working on yourself or learning new skills maybe or developing something in you during your quiet times. That's why I wanted to point out na yung real growth really is happening during our quiet moments in our life. And sometimes, real growth really looks like, it's really like showing up in your business when no one is clapping for you, right? Or like in my case, siguro, just to share with you for those who are still working, is you keep on doing things right at work, even though no one is really recognizing your efforts, right? Learning when no one is watching, right? So, for example, if you wanted to, have more success in your business, you are learning new skills that you feel like will also level up your own business. Sa career naman, this can be the skills that you need. For example, you wanted to aim that promotion, right? So you are open to gain new skills. And of course, improving when no one is validating you yet, right? So you just trust in the process. You just, keep on moving forward. You just keep on learning and you keep on developing yourself. And sometimes the results don't really show immediately, right? But the foundation is really being built during those quiet moments in our lives. So if you are currently in that moment, I also, myself included, I am still during in that quiet moment that I am also developing, I'm also growing, even though it feels invisible at first. But you know what? All of those daily work and daily inner work that you are doing, we are doing, right? Or everything that we are doing to improve ourselves, those are the growth na dapat we also, celebrate pa rin, right? So just to share with you some of the things that I've also experienced now, when I started building my own digital business, wala talagang instant breakthrough. And I have been very transparent about this if you've been following my journey. You know, if you would go back to how I post before, like 5 years ago, it was really a different person. Um, yung mga first few posts ko in my business page and my social media accounts, they usually come with very low engagement, right? Yung mga first few conversations that I had with interested potential clients, I also received a lot of no's. I got rejected a lot of times, before I get to the yes, before I was able to work with the right customers and the right clients and the people who are ready to start their own business and change their lives. Some didn't really reply, meron pa rin. And I had to endure that, right? And then some of my first few weeks of starting the business, wala rin akong huge income, right? So I didn't really started immediately with earning, immediate income here in the business. I've shared this with you na hindi ito get rich quick scheme, right? But as I've also mentioned with you that if you really work hard on your business, you will also get there. So what happens is I stayed consistent. I kept learning on how to improve my own business, how I improve my messaging. I kept on showing up during these live episodes with you, live sessions, even if only few are just watching. I started when I was trembling. I started when I was nervous. I started when I feel not 100% confident. And then I kept refining on how I explained this business in a simple way. Because one of my goals, when I share the business is really to give you the clarity that you need so that you will also understand the business opportunity that I am sharing with you. And there were months where it felt slow. Meron pa rin, no? Like when you become your own boss, just like any other business, right? Or any traditional or online business, as long as it's a business, there will always be a cycle. So may ups and downs talaga. So there were times that merong mga slow moments, but actually those small actions really built yung better communication, right? Andun din yung stronger online confidence that you would also develop within you. Nagkaroon din slowly but surely clearer positioning ng aking business, right? And eventually, the income followed. So I think if I stop also during the invisible phase of growth na, I would have missed the compounding effect of being consistent in my own business. Right? So I just wanted to share with you, bakit nga ba importante ang consistency and why is it so, important to really become consistent in this business? Number one, small improvements create exponential growth over time. So dito sa business, one improved skill can really change everything for you, right? So instead of, mastering everything, just like we are being taught in our training, you just need to learn, for example, one social media platform. Learn how to market, learn how to advertise, learn how to position your business opportunity, learn how to present yourself, right? So, for example, I had to learn how to explain the business more clearly. What happens is the conversations improve. More people are now getting to, see the potential of the business. Nagkaroon din ng improvement sa trust. The results also improved. So some of the key actions that you can also do to apply this is instead of chasing the big wins, try asking yourself, ano ba yung isang skill that I can improve this month? Right? It's actually Feb 24. It's just few days and then March na. But, as we approach March, ano yung gusto mong i-improve sa sarili mong negosyo? Or in your career, for example, right? And just focus on that. So like in my case, I already identified two, activity that I really wanted to master this year, specifically this month. So I've been working on that now for the past how many months, right? Number two, consistency builds trust, especially online, right? So people really don't respond because you posted once. They respond because you showed up consistently in your business. So like in my case, consistent content really built my own credibility, right? Consistent learning will build my own online confidence. And consistent follow ups build relationships over time. So, some of the key actions that you can do on this one is you have to commit to one consistent action, right? You can really do like post weekly, like in our training, you have to post 2 to 3 times a day, right? You also have to continue learning new skills. So, you have to really learn daily. Like in my case, every day of the week, I always make sure that I gain something new. May it be a very small learning or a very major one. I always make sure that I am, elevating my knowledge in my business so that I can improve more, right? And also on my mindset. I also follow up respectfully for those people who are really, who express their interest to start a business. And this is one of the things that I also wanted to improve on myself, and I just have to keep it simple, pero steady. So instead of stretching yourself on learning so many things in your business, identify like two activities that you feel like will always have a direct impact to your goals, to your business goals in particular, maybe in your career goals, right? So you can just focus on two items that will help you move towards the goal that you want to achieve. And third is compounding really requires patience, right? So digital business really taught me this very clearly. Yung first few weeks was really slow. Why? Because I'm still on a learning phase. I'm still trying to understand. But as you continue and you become consistent in your business, your momentum will also build sooner or later. And the person that you become in the process while you are staying consistent in your business, while you are staying, present and focused on your business, you will become a more disciplined person. You will have a clearer focus. You will become calmer, right? And that will be your real asset over time. And then what happens is when you do that, your income is just the byproduct of your own efforts. So yun yung minsan na nakakalimutan nating i-recognize, no? Especially when we are working on ourselves, you know? And let us not, forget, yung growth really takes that process. Hindi natin pwedeng madaliin yung growth, right? It doesn't really happen overnight, no? But it really, takes repetitive action over and over again, your consistency over and over again. And when you do that, you become better and better and better every single day, right? So just think about, for example, think about saving money, right? If you deposit a small amount monthly, sa umpisa, you might feel like, okay, it's not that significant. Sa umpisa, right? So it's just, let's say, 100 pesos a day, for example, or 100 pesos a week, for example, right? So umpisa, you don't really see the significance of saving 100 pesos per week. But actually, when you do it over time, right, that amount that you save will also grow, right? So consistency really works the same way when we are learning new skills, when we are, strengthening our mindset, right? When we are, learning more skills in our own business, right? So it's really important and wag na wag nating kumbaga mamaliitin ang salitang consistency because I think ang the main one of the main recipe for success is also consistency, right? Hindi yung gusto mong kumita pero wala kang gagawin, hindi ka mag-show up sa negosyo mo, and then you're going to blame other people or maybe you're going to do kumbaga hindi mo gagawin yung mga dapat mong ginagawa in your business, you are not consistent with showing up in your business, you're not consistent in learning new skills, you are not consistent on working on your mindset, hindi mo talaga ma-achieve yung success because you are not consistent, right? So you really have to have that burning desire to really, want what you really want. And when you start making consistent habits, that will also help you achieve the goals that you want, whether in business, in your career, or in your life. So tonight, I just wanted to invite you to also ask yourself, if you are already in the business, well and good. If you are already in your major decision in your career, okay. So my question to you is, am I quitting too early just because I can see the compounding yet? Right? And I remember those times, no, naalala ko lang, because na-mention ko yung usapang career. There were times actually, it just go back to who I was before as a CFO. I had to, you know what, it took me 5 years to reach that far in the corporate ladder. And it took me 5 years to also become consistent, to really make sure that I give my best at work to be able to achieve that far. So sabi ko nga nung na-experience ko yon, if that really worked for me and that really allowed me to get my promotion, sabi ko mukhang ganun din na magiging recipe or magiging ingredient rather for success dito sa business na to. It's just a matter of time, I believe, right? It's really just a matter of time. And when you have that faith, isama na natin yung usapang faith, right? And you know that it will also be given to you. And you work hard for it. And you stay consistent to give your best day in and day out. I believe and trust that it will also be given to me. Right? So kung ganun ka rin, you also believe in yourself, in your capability, and you are giving your all because you really want that goal, right? And you really do your part, I believe that you will also achieve what you are aiming to achieve, whether in your business, in your career, or in life, right? So I just wanted to, leave you with that experience. Maybe some of you have also experienced this, na you are also experiencing na ang tagal ng progress, no? Also, also think about, ito bang ginagawa ko? Are these also in line with our training? Right? Ito ba yung dapat natin ginagawa? Or baka medyo nalilihis tayo. That's also one of the things that you can also look at, right? But, everything is really found on our training and on our mastermind classes if you really want to really improve on your own business. All right? So that's why I'm really sharing this, no? Kasi itong business that I've started, this is really important to me. Bakit? Because for me, this isn't about, learning the structure that we got here in the business. But it also showed me to also stay disciplined, yung mindset. And of course, yung showed me another way of earning income. Nang hindi ko kailangang magdagdag ng additional na trabaho. Nang hindi ko kailangang i-sacrifice yung aking health. And without even relying on a single source of income. So for me, I believe that consistency that you are doing inside with the right system really creates an additional income stream over time. But again, it really doesn't happen overnight. This is not a get rich quick scheme type of business. You really have to work also on your business, right? And sabi nga nung ating business leader, just have to believe, right? Importante yung self-belief when you are working and you are giving your all in your business. And sooner or later, you will also achieve your goals, your income goals, your family goals, right? or kung ano mang goals that you started, why you started your own business. Or for those who haven't started the business, ano yung nakikisip mo rin na goal na gusto mo rin ma-achieve, right, through the business. So for those who are watching live and for those who will catch us on the replay, so if you are also open to exploring a different way to earn, right? So something that you can build gradually while keeping your full-time job, just comment the word start or just send me a message and I'll share with you your first step. So I'll walk you through how the business works, right? So step by step. So you can also see if the business also aligns with your goals, right? Or if it's a perfect fit for you. All right. So before we end this live, I just wanted to read a comment from our live viewer, si Matapat. Sasabi niya is malaking bagay nga po ang mindset and syempre ang faith kay God. I agree. I really agree with that. So thank you for sharing that. Because if we don't have the mindset, I think in everything that we do, plus the faith that we have in God, you know, hindi hindi tayo makakausad or hindi tayo um hindi tayo magsi-stick doon sa ating gustong ma-achieve, right? So again, it really boils down to ano ba talaga yung gusto mong ma-achieve, why you started something, right? For example, sa work, why did you start that work? Why are you doing that type of work? Or have you started your own business, right? Definitely meron tayong reason, right? And that reason should be something that is very meaningful for you, right? So like it can be financial, it can be time freedom, marami. But it really is personal to you. And that is actually what is really important, right? When you start your own business, you have to be clear what you really want to achieve through your business. And that will serve as your, let's say, North Star, right? To keep on, keep on moving and you keep on um, becoming consistent in whatever you do, especially for your business, right? Yes, so consistency. Yes, yes, tama. And it really just, related to starting good habits, right? So for example, gusto mong, classic example that I can share would be maybe fitness, right? Gusto mong magpapayat, pero, you feel like hindi mo naiisip na kaya mong pumayat. So, bakit ka magpapapayat? Maybe for you, you want to be healthy for your family. Maybe for you, you have kids, gusto mo silang maalagaan at mabigyan ng panahon. Maybe you are a daughter like me, di ba? So para meron kang strength to really take care of your loved ones. So maraming reason, right? And that will actually serve as your guide. Bakit gusto mong papayat, right? But of course, you also start thinking about, imagining, ano bang ginagawa ng isang taong healthy? And then you try to list them down. Ano ba yung mga habits ng isang taong healthy? Right? So it can be eating healthy foods, hindi umiinom o hindi kumakain ng chichirya, for example, um, doing exercise, sleeping well, and doon ka mag-start. Start with one small habit and that will, do that during the first week, for example. Start with, say, 10-minute walk and then you compound and you increase it as you become more comfortable. Right? That really worked for me. Kasi ako sa akin, nag-start ako ng like in my case, intermittent fasting, I only started with 14 hours and then hanggang na-stretch ko rin yung sarili ko, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, now I'm reaching 20, 21, 22-hour intermittent fasting. And my body has been very healthy and mas maganda ang aking mental clarity because of it. But I didn't started as biglang 22 hours agad, no. So it really is, very important to stay consistent if you wanted to change or if you want to experience growth in your life. All right. So that's it for tonight. Thank you. Thank you for those who are watching this live and for those who are catching this on a replay. Again, this is Mentor Anna. It's past 10 o'clock in the afternoon, in the evening rather. So maraming salamat and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now and good night.